September 27th, 2022. It's 2:27, or around 2:30 p.m. This is Nisita Tower. This is a special video. I've never done one like this before. This is my predictions for the future. Try to keep it short, but it probably will be a little long. This is the stonework I did on the tower. I'll just show a little bit about the tower. But what this is going to be about is my predictions. These are totally my predictions. I'm not an astrologer. I do some reading and stuff. I do study a little bit of Vedic astrology. And I also follow economics and stuff like that. So it's a combination of different things. Some of it's just my own ideas. What we're in right now, I did give a video on this about Ukraine. How it's the elite's attempt to basically stay in power or stall or whatever. They created this war. The elite did, not Russia. In my other video I talk about this, how this war started, and there's other people that talk even in more detail about it. You know, people that are not with the mainstream news. Here's my predictions. I predict that things will get better. Everybody thinks, oh, things are just going to keep getting worse and worse, and they might get worse. Because it's still late 2022, it's September. No, it won't just keep getting worse and worse. And no, there will not be World War III. That is one thing that I want to make very clear, that I'm not one of those doomsayers that say that the world's going to end. I don't believe that the climate's going to end the world, or climate change is going to end the world because we didn't do something. That's kind of a bunch of, those are lies too. Not that we shouldn't keep the air clean. We do need to clean up the air. My predictions are that the CCP in China, which is the Chinese Communist Party, will fall. And this was talked about particularly by Cryon, but others have also mentioned it. Which would mean that Red China would no longer be under the thumb of the Communist Party. Russia already is free from the communists. And if you were to listen to the news, you wouldn't believe that. But they are. They were freed in the, well, 1987. How soon we forget that they really are free from the elites. They're not communist anymore. So that I can't predict, because it already happened. It was predicted by Cryon, though, before it did happen. So the CCP in China will fall. Iran will have a revolution of some kind, and the government will be overthrown, because they have a rather far right or extreme government there, kind of along a religious line. That's going to go, and actually that prediction may be happening as I speak. And I knew this long before now, because this thing that's going on in Iran has been going on for over a week. I also predict the fall of North Korea. So that would mean, if these predictions came true, that all the remaining major totalitarian regimes, you know, minus maybe ones we don't know about in Africa or something, are all going to fall. They're going to be overthrown from maybe by their own population. That's what it sounds more like is going to happen. That they're not going to be like attacked from outside and overthrown. They're going to fall from within, the way Russia did. So another thing that's going to happen is we've been lied to about this virus, and that's part of the reason why the CCP will fall. I'm working my way to the top of the tower here to give you the view. They lied to us, and there's some kind of a connection possibly even between them and our elite, between China and our elite. because it sounds like there's a connection between that Wuhan plant. The virus came from the Wuhan plant in Wuhan, China. And of course the news media don't want you to know that. And this is going to come out. That's another prediction. And this will ultimately lead to the fall of the CCP. I mean, right now the CCP is almost bankrupt now. And they are taking anybody off the media who are saying that they're about ready to go because they're scared. And you know, if they got people saying it's happening, that's going to further push it along. Another thing that's going to happen is right now we've got these real high oil prices because of this bad war that the elite started in Ukraine. And what this is going to cause is people are going to say, well, let's see if we can find other inventions to replace oil that are cheaper, that don't pollute the air, that make it so that we can actually heat our homes. It's going to be found, and I think that these are going to be found in a few years, in maybe 2025 or later. New inventions will be released, and the elite won't be able to do anything to stop it. They'll either be too weak or they'll be backed in a corner to the point where they have to let it out, because the elite are sitting on these inventions. They're already got them, and they just won't let them out. So in the 2025 area, in around that time is when new inventions will come out, including inventions for your health. Because right now our health system is actually making money keeping you sort of sick. I mean, you go to the doctor and everything's that they suggest for you to do is pills, which are mostly made in China, in communist China, or surgery, which costs huge amounts of money and also carries a lot of side effects too. I mean, surgeries can be risky. The pills have terrible side effects too. And so I'm going to predict the downfall of Big Pharma perhaps when China goes down. And look who's making all the money on these inoculations, or these actually they're vaccinations. Who's making the money on all these? And they're featured, they underwrite all the news on TV. Pfizer and these companies that put out these shots, they're making money and they're backing the news, of course. They're part of the elite. And this is their main money. The elite's main money is Big Pharma. So when you buy a prescription, more likely than not, you're backing the elite. And most of these pills are made in Red China. So that whole thing is going to be like exposed. I mean, it already sort of is. It's just that not everybody is looking at the exposure. So one of the inventions that's going to come out is a magnetic invention that will make it so that we can have a decentralized grid, which leads to another prediction I'm going to make, which is a big one. Climate change. In 2032 it's going to get cold, which is the opposite of what everybody's saying right now. We're going to have remarkably cold weather starting in 2032. Whereas now they're saying, oh, it's going to get warm and the ocean levels are rising, which they really kind of are not. So we're going to need more energy to heat our homes, and it's going to start in 2032. And of course we're going to get bouts of cold before then. But then it'll get warm again, because we're in a solar maximum right now, and we're going to go into solar minimum in 2032. 2032, solar minimum starts, and the last time it happened was in 1700, and the Thames River froze over. And it all has to do with the sun. The sun controls how warm or cold it gets on this earth. And besides volcanoes maybe, which we have a few of those going off. But the main thing is the sun. And so if the sun doesn't put out as much heat, the whole solar system will get colder. And if the sun puts out a lot of heat through sunspots, then everything gets warmer. Yes, we need to clean up our air. So what they do is they say, they talk about global warming and all these carbon tax credits, but they're not really cleaning up the air. They sent all our jobs to China, where there's no air quality standards there, so all our stuff is made over there. And the same people that talk about global warming sent all our jobs to China. Now what does that sound like? So they're lying to us. And then when it gets cold out, these people are all sitting on all these patents and won't let them out. When it gets cold, how are we going to heat our homes? Especially with all these electric cars. Now they're adding to the grid, to the drain on the grid, which I'm not against electric cars. I think Elon Musk is doing some wonderful stuff. And they started out as electric cars 100 years ago. So, this isn't really new. What we're coming out of Tesla is not really all that new. Big Oil came in and they wanted us to burn their gas. So this new magnetic invention is going to come out, and that'll be invented, I'm guessing, in the mid-2025. Another invention, which may already be out, is a geothermal device which will have a solution which will make water boil at a lower temperature. And so you don't have to drill down as far, and you could put a line down anywhere and get heat enough to boil this new solution, and it'll turn a turbine. And then we'll have cheap energy without having to burn oil or coal or order oil from Russia or anywhere else. And there's just in the beginning stages, I think, of doing that. There's some places they have to drill down the full depth. I'm talking about something revolutionary they'll only have to drill down a fraction of what they're drilling now. And then they have tidal energy. That'll come out. Better versions. And saltwater, that maybe is further down the road, saltwater inventions to power boats and stuff. Right now, Big Oil doesn't really want any part of this, but they're almost backing themselves in a corner with all the things that are going on today. So we're going to be in a whole different world someday with the way we produce our energy. The way that Tesla's building their electric cars goes right in with the things that are coming in. It'll work with their technology better than with a gas car, let's say. So there won't be a World War III. But we'll have a cold 2030s. In the 2030s it'll be cold, beginning 2032. The elite will be exposed. This whole thing